The Citizens Nuclear Information Center, which is based in Tokyo, is an avid anti-nuclear campaigner. Now, the group wants a nuclear-free world. Philip White belongs to this organization. He is a nuclear expert, and he joins us now on the phone from Tokyo. Philip, thanks so much for joining us. I do want to ask you, if things do get worse, even though each hour counts as they go by, if things get worse, what do residents need to do to try to protect themselves?
There are basically two things. It's better if you're inside a building than outside a building, and the further away you are, the better. I really hope that all people who are somewhere in the vicinity of that plant are safe from serious radiation exposure. However, it's just something that you've got to bear in mind is that the worst-case scenarios are out there that could happen. They may not happen, but in the worst-case scenario, really, you take all the measures you can, but there's very little that can be done because as much as 100 kilometres away, people could be getting lethal doses. Now, that isn't what the situation is now. I'm not suggesting for a moment that that's what's happening now, but that is the worst-case scenario that can occur. And it's really important. Yeah, sorry, go on.
I wanted to ask you if you think that the measures that the government has taken so far are the appropriate measures, pumping in seawater into one of the reactors to try to cool it down and evacuating residents to a radius of more than 20 kilometers. Are these the appropriate measures, or in your opinion, do you think something else needs to be done?
Firstly, evacuating the people is the right thing. How far they should be evacuated is probably debatable, but I think the further the better, and 20 kilometres is probably more a matter of convenience and the total impracticality of moving vast numbers of people in the midst of an earthquake and a tsunami. This is a really important thing to bear in mind, that we have simultaneously infrastructure wiped out by those factors, and then we have on top of that a nuclear disaster. This is something that we've been warning of for a long, long time, but the government has really refused to take on board this double whammy that you get when these things happen together. But anyway, I mean, what is actually possible, I don't know, but the further they can get them away, the better. As for the seawater into the core, we held a press conference last night in Japanese in which we had experts speaking on this issue, and the reactor designers that we had there said that basically it is a recognition that there is no future for this reactor. This reactor is finished.
And that's what most of the experts are saying. Right, Philip, that's what most of the experts are saying, that when you pour seawater in with all the elements there, that you cannot use this reactor. It's not salvageable again. I do want to ask you about the weather, because we did speak with a resident on CNN who said that he's concerned about rain because radiation is already in the air. If it rains a significant amount, does that pose any more danger to residents, say in Tokyo?
It depends where the radiation is blown. If the radiation is blown out to sea, that is by the winds, that is the safest as far as human beings are concerned. But if it is blown over populated areas and then the rain falls, that means that the radiation is no longer in the air. It's falling on top of people, and it's falling on the ground, and so the radioactivity is then being ingested, being deposited in the soil. In the case of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs, there was so-called black rain after the explosion, which rained radioactivity on the population, and this was one of the major causes of radiation exposure at that time.